All right. Elder Scrolls 6 is confirmed. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. Everybody get excited because we did it. We're about 2 weeks out from Elder Scrolls 6, as we all knew going into the year that this is what would happen, and no one's crazy for thinking so. Um, if you're not aware, Jeff Keighley tweeted out the words regal.inspiring.thickness earlier today, along with this weird cropped in image of some kind of demonic gate of sorts, featuring, featuring, alligators and skeletons and Daedroth. Anyway, I think this is Elder Scrolls 6 related. And the number one reason for why I think this could be the Elder Scrolls 6 is because it'd be cool if it was. And, we're going to go into other reasons why. But I think what's important is when you start from the conclusion that this door looks like a Maroc door, because it has the same kind of face vagina thing going on. When you start from that conclusion and work your way back to the evidence, you can convince yourself of basically anything. So there are other competing theories for what this doorway could be. One such theory, based on this location, is that this could be Half-Life 3 related. People were like, oh, something about Yucca Mesa Road. I don't know. They said, oh, maybe it's Half-Life 3. But judging by how fantastical the doorway is, I don't know anything about Half-Life 3, but this looks more fantasy than whatever Half-Life is like. So to the Half-Life people, you can shut the fuck up. Moving on. Other people have said that this, rather than being a Maroc face pussy door, could be Diablo related. And I think that's a good idea, but we have this guy, Trio Doug, who says, I have a source from Blizzard that confirmed this is not Diablo. And if you're saying, well, who is this guy? I think it's this. I'm pretty sure this tweet is by this guy who was out in the desert and actually went to this location and revealed the rest of the doorway. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because Jeff Keighley gave us this kind of cropped in image, right? What is it? What could it be? This guy goes to the location and discovers that rather than this being Unreal Engine graphics or something, that it's a real sculpture out in the middle of the desert, and it's got this golden eye. And I think this golden eye, like I said, if you're starting from the conclusion that that this is a Maroc door, the golden eye is what Hermaeus Mora is called. This is supposed to say 100% chance that I could be correct. Hermaeus Mora, the one who knows. Is this a stretch? I don't know. But we're here. We're already here. We're doing it. Starting from the conclusion that this is Hermaeus Mora, Maroc door, Goldeneye, etc., I went to the lore page and found out about something called the Infinite Panopticon. And the Infinite Panopticon is essentially like a realm within Apocrypha that is constantly changing locations, like the gateway into it. Oh, the Infinite Panopticon holds like Hermaeus Mora's deepest, darkest secrets, and he doesn't want anyone getting in there. And it's guarded by like an army of demons and stuff. Like there's these lurkers and whatnot, and seekers and vaginas. And the Infinite Panopticon is constantly shifting inside, and I think that could make sense as a location for the Elder Scrolls 6, because we've seen how much they push procedural generation for Starfield, where like every time you land on a planet, it like is a new whatever the fuck, like it looks different every time you go somewhere new on the planet. A constantly changing realm like Apocrypha could be aided by similar procedural generation tech. Okay, here's the quote from the Elder Scrolls lore page. In order to protect the information stored within the entrance to the Panopticon, never appearing in the same place twice, the interior of the realm also changes at random. Nothing within the extra-dimensional space conforms to reality as mortals understand it. The defenses that protect the secrets in the Panopticon are said to include shifting chambers and corridors, as well as an army of hushed lurkers, seekers, and other Daedric guardians, which are said to defy description, being too powerful and obscure to describe accurately. This statue looks like a smorgasbord of beings and whatnot. You could describe them as an army. I think these general demon-looking things could be the Hushed. They're basically people who got so into finding secrets that they go crazy and attack people on sight. The lurkers, like me, are, lurkers, right? On the right, you see an image of a lurker from other Elder Scrolls games, and on the left, you see the statue, some kind of creature on the statue that was in the desert. And if you look closely, you'll notice that they are the same picture. Really powerful stuff. This is from Elder Scrolls Online. Necrom, they did a big Hermaeus Mora expansion a couple years back. I think clearly people like this Daedric prince. And he's kind of the tides of fate, like, you know, very ocean vibes going on, if that makes sense. And a lot of our speculation is that Elder Scrolls 6 will take place in Hammerfell and feature sailing and whatnot. So I think having Hermaeus Mora as like a focal point for the game kind of makes a lot of sense. This is the video. I don't have... It won't load. So we're just going to move on. Logistically, how did this statue get there? Well, about 2 weeks ago, the Fallout fan celebration took place in Good Springs, Nevada. And when I went to Nevada years ago, we drove through Joshua Tree to get to California. So because I've done this drive, it makes sense that somebody else could have done this drive. So maybe they took this statue to the Fallout fan celebration like a Trojan horse, mixed in amongst a bunch of other junk, and then drove it south to Joshua Tree. I don't know. Somebody maybe might have done that, or or it's got nothing to do with that. The biggest counterpoint I think people could make to this being the Elder Scrolls 6 is that Todd Howard recently said the Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off. And he's preaching patience, and he doesn't want fans to feel too anxious. But the problem with this is that Todd Howard, he just speaks, and there's no reason to believe that he would tell us anything valid. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game in 2 weeks, I guess.